Hi guys, I am actually here on this lovely Super Bowl Sunday, which I didn't know was a thing, but I did a poll and you guys said you would be more than willing to step on. And so I thought I would just go ahead and take some time out, stop by, say hi to everybody, answer any questions, and see how things are going. I have a few questions, and I know that it takes some time for things to start rolling through with the comments. Let me just check to make sure that I have all the comments ready to go. If you are watching the replay, which those of you that may be watching Super Bowl may be watching the replay, that's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and do some announcements right now while I wait for people to start coming in and start answering questions as they start posting them up in the comments. And if you are on right now, if you could give me a thumbs up so it can kind of spread out to all the others that might be watching as well. But like I said, if you are watching the replay, I'll just put the timestamp after I do all the announcements if you want to just skip ahead to the questions. But I do think the announcements are pretty cool, and I thought I'd share them with you really quick. So I went through the like and sub if you haven't subbed. I'm here to share with you homeschool tips, support, encouragement. I really just do have a heart for making sure that homeschool moms find the freedom that they have in homeschooling instead of allowing the public school system or the educational system to kind of haunt them, since a lot of us have been we were public schooled ourselves. So we want that freedom to homeschool our kids, and we want to embrace it the best way we can. So I really want to come alongside you and support you in that, as well as for the parents of children that have special needs. There's a lot of us out there, and I want to provide some encouragement, some tips, support, etc. for them, and give you some ideas for curriculum for everybody, give you ideas for some good curriculum, and all the fun stuff. So future, I've got some people commenting, yay. Feel free to ask some questions as we go through. If you notice, I got an upgrade in camera and sound. I'm moving up in the world. I'm really excited because I have some goals, and there's a lot of cool things that are happening behind the scenes in my world. It's almost as if God is doing something with this, and I'm really excited. And that leads me to one of my announcements is, if you guys, I am doing a live on February 21st. I am going to push this one hard. So if you guys can share this one that's coming up with me, I'm really excited. I have gotten heavily involved as a hobby on the side, just as I don't know, I get in these hobbies. I mean, I've got the YouTube thing down, and that is a hobby. But as part of a hobby, I've gotten involved with the creation science world, so to speak. And it's mostly because I am teaching my kids. A lot of my boys are moving up into middle school and high school. And hey guys, as people start coming in, and feel free to post any questions as it comes up before I'm just now making announcements. So I can get a good group of people on here to join in. Now that we know Rihanna's pregnant, right? We all know that now. Exciting news. I don't really follow that kind of stuff, but I thought it was cool. She's pregnant. Pregnancy is always a good thing. And for anything to be celebrated during the Super Bowl halftime show, that's like a really good thing. We've come a long way, right? Anyway, so that was my comment. I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl, but I know Rihanna's pregnant. But anyway, no, February 21st. So excited because I have gotten highly involved with the creation science, biblical science stuff. If you haven't noticed, I have posted a photo on my YouTube page. Yeah, she is baby number 2. Yeah, she's pregnant. She revealed it during the halftime show. Sorry. Yeah, isn't that fun? Sorry, side note. It's all over Google. Just Google it. Anyway, yeah, so back to February 21st. I've been involved highly with the creation science. It's really exciting. And as a result, I've met a lot of really super cool people. One of which, some of you, I've met Ken Ham. I am now, I guess we could say we're family friends with Dr. Lyle, Jason Lyle. I'm going to call him a family friend at this point. We've been volunteering for his ministry. He's an awesome guy. And I work very closely with his administration, and she is actually coming on my channel. his assistant administration coordinator, events coordinator. That's what she is. And I have talked her into coming on my channel. She has so many, she's a homeschool mom as well. And she has lots of opinions about apologetics and creationism. And I have also gotten another Dr. Lyle's editor to come on. And her name is Terry. And we are going to be discussing why it's so important to teach creationism. We might get into why it's important to teach apologetics as well, but focusing in on the creation as opposed to evolution in our homes and why it's important to really teach them that. And we're going to talk about those. But the three of us, Denise is Dr. Lyle's, I hope she's okay with me announcing her as that, but she is his events coordinator, and she has lots of thoughts on that. And she's referring to this as the view. She's like, it's the creationist view show. I'm like, sure, we could call it that. So she's really excited. She's really fun. So guys, be sure to be there. I'm really going to push for that. We got, her name's Terry. She actually runs the Santee Creation Fellowship. And so go ahead on Facebook and subscribe to or follow that page to see all the things with creation science. Dr. Lyle just had a talk last Thursday, a Zoom call. And this Thursday, another guy, he's an illustrator. He actually illustrated, I'm plugging her stuff. This is what I do in my free time that you guys don't know about. He illustrates, let me see if I can find some of his stuff. I have it usually right here, but I don't. He illustrates, he illustrates a lot of Dr. Lyle stuff and some other things. He has his own stuff. And he's going to be on the Zoom call with Creation Santee Fellowship. I'm going to try to get him on here too. I believe he's a homeschool dad. I wouldn't be surprised. He's pretty cool peoples. And the following week is Eli. I cannot say his last name. I can't, but he's awesome. He does that's presuppositional apologetics. He's going to be with Terry, but Terry's coming on here. We're all making connections right now. And I am getting Dr. Lyle on. We don't have a date yet. I've been bugging Denise. I'm really good friends with Denise, and it will happen. She's the one that does his scheduling. So she's like, I promise you, Leilani, I promise you. And I'm like, okay. So we're waiting for her to schedule, which it takes time. She's really busy. I mean, she's his events coordinator. So yeah, I love her. You're going to love her too. She's nervous. So, she's not nervous. She's going to get on it. She's awesome. She is awesome. So is Terry. And I'm so excited. So if you guys get a chance to kind of help me promote the two of them, because this one's going to be fun. That's going to be a really fun one. February 21st. So get on here and ask lots of fun questions about creation, science, and apologetics. Just do some research, get some real good questions. So with that being said, I see a lot of people talking, but no questions. March 5th. I have another guest on March 5th, and we're just gonna nitpick it away. I'm gonna surprise you with that one. I'll tell you when it comes up. But we're gonna have another live. I am gonna try to do some more of these lives since we are closing out. Yeah, believe it or not, we're coming to the end of the year. And I know there's like a lot of questions about, especially for Floridians, we have homeschool portfolio evaluations coming up. A lot of kids in other states are doing testing. I know that at our co-op, one thing that's really, really nice is my hands are very much in the testing. I'm actually going to be administering the Cat 5 test for hopefully I got to write my proposal. Okay. Sorry. I wrote a proposal to a board for a homeschool board to make sure I get that done. Another thing that I have to do tonight after I get off of this, I got to get that done because it's due Tuesday. No, it's okay. But I am going to try to do some more of these so I can answer y'all's questions. If you have questions about testing, if you have questions about portfolio evaluations, I do know stuff about Florida law, the best that I can do. I can catch you up as much as I can on the bill. That actually seems... I will say Ron DeSantis came to our side, definitely came to back up the homeschoolers on that bill. So knowing that he has our back and seeing what he proposed is a very good thing because I know that's been some questions. Yay, I'm getting some questions. And also as a side note, keep me in prayer because I am working on my second book. And I am pouring my heart and soul into this book like you would never believe. My first book is still out. I'm going to promote, and this book apparently is doing really well. I'm like surprised. Like I should be surprised, but this one's out. It's at Amazon. It's at Barnes and Nobles. I have several copies here. I have not set up anything for you guys to order from me yet, but I am speaking at 2 conventions. I am speaking at 2 conventions this summer. That is my dream. I am just full blown excited. I am speaking at 2 conventions, and so I will have them with me at those conventions and sign them and stuff. One day I want to do FPEA in Florida, and eventually, we're not doing that one. We're doing the one in Daytona, the Florida Homeschool Association in Daytona. I'm going to be speaking on the middle school brain. So excited. And then I'm speaking at the Family Cafe, which is actually a huge special needs conference in the state of Florida. I mean, it's huge. I'm excited. And I'm going to be speaking about homeschooling kids that have disabilities and special needs. So excited about those 2 events. And so if you're around, you want to stop by, say hi, I'll be there. I have a booth definitely at the Florida Homeschool Conference. I don't know yet how it's going to work with Family Cafe, but really excited. Okay, so I like rambled all about my announcements. I'm sorry. So it is now 11:27. I'm going to write that down so I can pin it in the comments. So I'm going to address some questions. I see these questions coming up over here. So I'm going to address these first. I'm going to bounce back and forth between some questions that I have and then what's on here. Okay. So, oh yes, I love these questions because now I'm obsessed with apologetics. So best curriculum to teach apologetics and science from a creationist perspective. I'm always going to lean towards Dr. Lyle because he's amazing. Answers in Genesis, I think, does an amazing job with a lot of that. So does Apologia. Apologia is great. Those 2 are just like, I can't even, both of them are just really good. Apologia is going to present lots of just curriculum, good curriculum. Answers in Genesis has the curriculum through Master Books because actually it's New Leaf. I was corrected. New Leaf Press is the publishing company, but Master Books is just kind of, I don't know how it works, but I know Master Books is I don't know. I got to figure that out. I got to ask Denise. The Master Books is kind of over, I don't know. The publishing company is New Growth Press. New Leaf. New Growth Press is a different one. New Leaf. Master Books has all the Answers in Genesis curriculum in there, and it also publishes books along with it. Master Books will also put together a bunch of books and make it into a curriculum, kind of like a book study, very similar to very Charlotte Mason style. So you can purchase that as a curriculum. I think there's a really good apologetics curriculum through Master Books that Ken Ham actually wrote. But Apologia is great. Creationist, apologetic science from creationists. There's a lot of, I think the number one resource there to start out is definitely Master Books and the Apologia curriculum. Those 2 are good starting points. And I think once you get involved with Master Books, and then once you kind of start to spiral down that rabbit hole, it's awesome. Also, I should plug Eli. I can never say this. I got to learn how to say his last name. Eli. He has a website. It's called Apologetics. He is Revived Apologetics. He is putting out a podcast, and he just announced it today, and I was like, yay! And it is 10-minute short podcast segments to teach you beginning apologetics. So, and I was like, I told him, I was like, this is awesome for high schoolers. And so it is, I'm going to try to put a link. I'm going to put a note here to put a link to Eli's podcast that he's going to be doing, because I think that would be a great resource for our high school students that need to learn apologetics beginning stages, and a great resource for parents to help equip parents with learning that kind of stuff. So, and I'll try to put a master books link as well as Apologia. Okay. I'm getting comments. Wish there was a side-by-side chronological science with one side creationist. Well, you know what? And on the other side, evolution. I think it's important kids know both in order to understand the world's perspective. Yeah. And you know what? I think this is just me. Okay. Because I'm a nerd. Sorry. See, when we're live like this, I don't get to edit out my comments. And you get to hear all this. Okay. I love debates. So if you can find some good, and there are plenty of debates out there, the classic one is Bill Nye versus Ken Ham. That's a good classic one. It's not the best debate in the world when it comes to that subject, but if you can find debates, what's nice about that is you can hear both sides and then make a decision based on what you hear. And even your children can hear both sides and make a decision based on what they hear on that subject, especially those high school kids. I think it's really good to be able to equip yourself, because in real life, especially when they hit college and even a little bit in high school, they're going to come up against a lot of people that are against creationism, and they're going to have to defend the faith. And it's really good for them to see those debates in advance and be able to defend themselves, because they've seen professionals do it. So seeing a side by side would be great, but I think seeing it in action, like a debate, and learning from these people is great. So I know the classic is Bill Nye and Ken Ham. If anybody knows some others, I know there's a lot of, there's an Eli has facilitated Eli's channel. I am using I need to look that up. Eli's channel. Revealed Apologetics. I just remembered it. It's called Revealed Apologetics. He has some people debating on his channel. He's such a good resource. I cannot stress when it comes to apologetics. That man's amazing. And let him know I sent you. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. I hope that helps. Please let me know what you think about that answer. Because I think, yeah, you can't keep your kids in a bubble, but they need to know how to defend their faith. Okay, teaching. So I want to just kind of look through. I'm going to skim through to see if there's any more on that topic. Curriculum, well-trained mind. Would an evolution of, I think it's evolutionist, would an evolutionist or would evolution, be beneficial for those of us who don't live in states in which it's required? Homeschool is going much better now, but I wondered about that back when we were struggling. Are states requiring evolution as a subject? Evaluation. Wow. There, I am so sorry. I'm going to jump to that one anyway. Would an evaluation Sorry. Okay. Would an evaluation be beneficial for those of us who don't live in states in which it's required? Homeschool is going much better now, but wondered about this back when we were struggling. I don't think so. An evaluation for the state of Florida is just something that the state's requiring. And I'll be all honest, like upfront and honest, I do not like homeschool evaluations being mandatory in the state of Florida. I don't. Yet I'm doing them. I'm doing them because I want to advocate for the parents that want their freedom to learn. And I want them to know when I walk into their household, I am not going to be judging them. I'm not going to be dictating to them what they're supposed to be doing. I'm going to listen to them and encourage them. That's pretty much all I'm doing. And I'm going to support them. So I personally do not like the fact that Florida, their laws are that a homeschool evaluator, I can't talk. I'm not crazy that there's laws stating that a homeschool evaluator has to do a portfolio review once a year. There are other states out there that don't require that. I've heard that there's some states that require testing, but they never check up on them. Some people just submit paperwork once a year to the state. There's some do testing and some are very rigorous. The reason Florida is so relaxed in general is because the law for a portfolio evaluation or testing is so incredibly loose that the portfolio evaluator themselves really don't have any say. I mean, we are not allowed to assign a grade to the student. We are not allowed to tell them what to do. We are not allowed to tell them they're doing it wrong. All we are allowed to do is say, is there progress or not? And if your child is doing simply like reading one extra word than they did the year before, that's progress. Progress can go as slow or as fast as needed to be for your child. And maybe they're not reading. Maybe it's a child that has a disability and, maybe you read a book to them. Well, that's knowledge that they didn't have last year. So as long as there's progress, no matter how fast or slow it goes, that's all an evaluator is looking for. And the beautiful thing about the homeschool evaluations in the state of Florida is that if you walk in or if your evaluator walks in and they say, no, I don't want to pass you, you go, okay, well, I'm not going to pay you. That sounds so bad, but my advice to you is if you get a homeschool evaluator, do not pay them upfront, okay, until they have given you the paperwork. It's very simple. Nor I would never give them your address if you don't know them, of course. Like if you know your evaluator and you can trust them, then great. That's a whole other story. But I'm saying if you don't know your evaluator, and you're a little bit nervous, do not give them your name or address in advance. Just don't until they say yes and they're signing the paperwork. Then you can give them your name and address because they're signing the paperwork. To be honest, most of the evaluators in the state of Florida are homeschool moms that used to be teachers. And most of us are kind of like, we're homeschooling for a reason. So it's, and the other thing that's nice too is there's groupies, right? Every homeschool evaluator has groupies and they're going to recommend, when you meet other homeschoolers in the area, they're going to be like, oh, you should use my evaluator. She's amazing. If you get a recommended evaluator from somebody, you're probably fine. The scariest part is getting an actual teacher that's still a teacher doing your evaluation. That's when it gets tricky. And I've heard lots of nightmare stories about people contacting their neighbor who's a teacher at the public school down the street and going to their neighbor's house and doing evaluation, and the neighbor has no clue what they're doing. They're like, are you sure about this? And then them really like trying to give them public school type advice, and it's just really bad situation. So you do want to get somebody who's recommended, who's had kids, who's homeschooled. Recommended is the big one. So that's my suggestion. We have groupies. I have groupies. I fill it fast. And I'm just going to skip over here because somebody else, one of the questions, because it goes along, is how do they get in touch with me? It's simple. I do best if you have my phone number, text me. A lot of my groupies have my phone. I'm calling them my groupies. They're my families. I have their back. A lot of my families have my phone number, and I always tell them just text. I can keep track of that easier. And I'm not going to give my text on. I'm not going to give you my text. I'm not going to give you my phone number on YouTube, but I will say if you go look in, it should be in the description box, but my email address is my first and last name with the number 5. So Leilani Melendez 5@gmail.com, and you can email me and then we'll set something up. I'm not booking the summer till March because I'm finalizing some dates for vacations and events. And actually we're going to be going, I have the 2 events that I'm speaking at, and then we're going to be traveling with Dr. Lyle to do some stuff with him. So it's kind of me and my husband. This is great because this is how me and my husband are connecting, because my husband's like really big into apologetics. So it's really cool. So I got to make sure like that's not going to interfere with any of my evaluations, but I will start booking them in March, and my calendar, probably I'll be booked. Like May will be booked really quick. So if you want to get me in May, like March 1st, text me or email me. So that was my suggestion. I got to come back up to these because I'm surprised y'all aren't watching the Super Bowl. Nope, I'm not watching. I don't even know who's playing. I think I said that. All right. I hope I answered that question. Okay. I'm skipping ahead, and I know there's context. Okay. Okay. Teaching. Number one, how to read was not incredibly difficult. We both have ADHD. Okay. Awesome. That's amazing. I know some people have struggled with that. And also what's cool is it's a lot easier than sometimes we think, teaching our kids how to read. Number two is starting. These are kids. These are kids. Okay, number one, how to read was not incredibly difficult. I should read the whole question before I start answering. Number one, how to read was not incredibly difficult. We both have ADHD. Number two is starting to express interest in doing school. Awesome. We haven't done pre-K. Recommendations for pre-K and teaching him to read. Okay, but number one was easy. It wasn't difficult. I'd be curious to see what you read or what you used for your first. Did you like it? I know PAL with IW. That's what we used for 3 of my kids. Loved it. I kind of, because by the time I got to the third kid, I kind of knew how it worked, and it was much easier to do with her. And she picked up right away. Once we finished the PAL, we moved right into just books. I would just get readers. We actually got the Horizon reader, and we would start reading it, and then she didn't really like it. So I got the nature reader. I think it's Christian Light. We got that one, and we just started reading. But PAL laid down the foundation for her. I know some people really like, Well-Trained Mind. Is it Well-Trained Mind? I think it's Well-Trained Mind. Some people like their beginning reading book and teach your kid how to read in 100 days. That's another one. I don't have a drink up here. I should have a drink. My throat is getting dry from talking so much. But that's another one. Those seem to be pretty. I like those. I like PAL because there's a lot of easy cutout games that you just cut out paper and then you can play the game. And I liked that one because of that. And that's why I used it for that. There's another thing they do that, this was great. They have these letter people. And what I did is I colored them, and then I took a hot glue gun and I made it so it puffed up. So I traced the letter, and then I used glitter hot glue. So it was glittery, and I traced the letter, and then I laminated it so it was puffy. And so they had these letter figures that were puffy with the PAL. I don't think I might have them down, but I'll see if I can take a picture of them and put it on Instagram or something. Yeah, I'll do that. Another note for myself, another Instagram post I can put up. I'm going to try to use my Instagram page more. Photos of PAL if I have them. But anytime you can make it bumpy for your kids to feel it, it's that tactile stimulation that kind of imprints in your brain, which is really good for the kids. So especially if they're tactile learners, and especially when they're learning how to read, right? The more tactile stuff you can get, like puzzles with letters, is really good when they're learning how to read. But as in curriculum, getting something simple like PAL with IW, and then the 100, teach your kids how to read in 100 days, and then the Well-Trained Mind is very, very similar to that. I think those are great. We didn't even, the one with Well-Trained Mind, I also used after I did PAL. And that one, we didn't even finish because it got to a point where the words were, it was just more practice. And some of the words got really hard and she could read them anyway. And I was just like, okay, cool, we got this. And then at that point, she's just reading readers. I'm thinking about my daughter. I think I tried to finish that book with my first son. But either way, all my kids are great readers and it worked. So that's something you can definitely try. I hope that helps. But pre-K, they said pre-K. I would not do Well-Trained Mind for pre-K. For pre-K, PAL I would do for kindergarten. See, I need to read. Comprehension. Pre-K, I would just read them a lot of books. The Bob series is fun to go through, but read, get some of those hands-on puzzles, like I mentioned before. Anything that's tactile. Like we have this really cool puzzle set with the letters and you put them in and we say like, K. Leapfrog. Oh my gosh. The phonics, the old school letter factory on Leapfrog is amazing for pre-K. It really gets it's fun. I mean, Leapfrog is like, it's awesome. It's the old school one. So sorry, I answered that a little bit wrong, but the right answer would be a lot of reading to your child. The Bob books are fun to introduce things. Leapfrog, and tactile stuff, like those puzzles and the glue, the puffy pink glue. Some people will do sandpaper. Lakeshore Learning has a lot of cool stuff if you can afford it, but they're usually expensive. One of the things I have done with Lakeshore Learning is I'll go in there and I'll look at what they have, and then I make it. Like the puffy letters, those are really easy to make. So yeah, and have them. I'm not a big fan of tracing letters, but there are times that's good, like physically tracing over letters. Sometimes that's good. I do think if you're using your finger to trace, that's good to do. What I'm talking about is like you're teaching them handwriting and you're having them trace over with the pen. I don't think that should be the main form of learning how to write and learning letters. I think they need to learn how to write it independently. That's my opinion, though, based off of other people who have shared that with me. But writing should also be included with learning how to read. What is that one? Cursive First. That's the Cursive First program. There's one that what is it? Is it Cursive First? But there's one that teaches you how to spell, read, write, or I forgot what that program was. Either way, I think that handwriting needs to be in connection with the reading because it's tactile. Does that make sense? I feel like I jumped around a lot. I hope that helps. Okay. It's hard because I can't see you and I can't tell if you're like processing. So just let me know if that helps or if you want to expand on that question. Okay. Curriculum question. What curriculums would you recommend for middle school language arts besides IEW? Oh my gosh. I like IEW. Besides IEW, like Essentials for Writing, I heard was good. For middle school. Essentials in Writing, I heard was good. Well-Trained Mind. Well-Trained Mind is a classical approach, but I do like the memorization. But that's for the elementary. The memorization happens in elementary. Thinking, I mean, some people like Writing Strands. Writing Strands, I believe, is master books. But I heard so many good things about Essentials in Writing. There is one, but I think that one's really good for kids that have dyslexia and dysgraphia and learning disabilities. It is Learning Language Arts Through Literature. That's a really good one for kids that are either they're reluctant readers or they do have a learning disability. It's just such a good one. Oh, Sunlight. Sunlight is a more of a box curriculum, and it's just really good because it's literature based, and I really, really like it. So Sunlight, look into Sunlight. So I hope that helps. I mean, I love IEW, but I know IEW is not for everyone. I totally get that. I just lucked out because my kids, both of my boys, Andrew Pudawa just became like this really cool person all of a sudden to my children. And then my son met him at the convention and he just engaged with him. My son was like, he's so cool. And now that I've been on their podcast and that Andrew Pudawa actually sent a video message to my sons. And I was like, we're all like, I fangirl. Andrew Pudawa, like when I talked to him, he's like, when I first met you, you were bubbly. I'm like, because I was so excited to meet him. I fangirl hard. I'm really bad. I need prayer. I'm getting better now that I'm meeting more of these really cool curriculum writers, but I fangirl. That was side note. But anyway, yes, there are plenty of really, there's good stuff out there. And I get it. IEW is not for everyone. But like I said, sunlight's really good. Sunlight's really just good around. I actually think I'm going to try out sunlight for my daughter next year because I think that's going to be her learning style. I'm not 100% sure, so that's why we're going to try it out and see how it works. It's my third child. I think I'm going to try it on her. My boys just really grab a hold of IAW so firmly. They love it. I don't know what I'm going to use for Naomi. She's like a whole different, she's different, obviously, but there's going to be a lot of differences with her. I think we're going to end up doing, I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to learn how to read and enjoy life right now. So I don't even want to think about it. We're doing So Happy to Learn. It's amazing. Okay. So I hope I answered that question. Does well-trained mind first language lessons include things like writing, thank you notes, addressing? Yes, I think so. I know their second book does. The samples online are limited to what they show. And I don't have the book anymore because I gave it to a friend, even though it was falling apart. I think it does. I think I remember writing letters with her. I do. Oh my gosh. See if you can do a flip through. Like go. I'm pretty sure it does. Because this sounds really bad. I'd get annoyed with that part. Or maybe it doesn't. Because they have a whole nother. I know they're ones for the older kids too. I wonder if you can do a flip through. I can't remember off the top of my head. My daughter's in 3rd grade, so she did that one in kindergarten. So it's been a while. And we did do the well-trained mind last year with her because she's on level 3. She's on level 3 right now. Yeah, maybe it doesn't have it. Okay. I don't think it does. Now that I'm thinking more, I don't think it does. I think it's the level 1 and 2 that do. Yeah. But I would do a flip through to double check me on that. Okay. How do you homeschool year round? Very carefully. I mean, one thing I love learning. I unit study things, and we also have the co-op, and every year it kind of shifts a little bit more to meet the needs of our family. Because we have the co-op year round, and actually they're taking more classes this year at the co-op. One, because my really close friends are teaching them, and I'm also teaching them myself. So they're still in my class. I don't know. The co-op that we go to is actually very, very intimate. It's an amazing, amazing co-op. It doesn't have any students this year. In the past, it has had a lot of students. I don't know why I got on that tangent. What am I trying? Homeschool year round. Okay. So when we're doing the co-op, right? And then we have our IEW math, and then I take history and I unit study it. And so I do history with my kids for an hour, 3 times a week. Then when summer hits, I start unit studying the fun stuff. So if they're not done with their math, which does sometimes happen, or if they're not done with IEW, which sometimes happens, because we take breaks during the year, forgot to mention that, we will take the entire month of September off, except for fun stuff. And we will take weeks off for vacation. We'll take days off for birthdays. So, and we'll be like, if, for example, when me and my husband did an event with Dr. Lyle, my kids actually had school off, and it was flexible that way. My kids came to, they didn't stay with us. They actually went with mother-in-law, but they didn't have school. The point is they didn't have school. And, but we unit study. So we take breaks off during the year when we need it. It's almost like we're doing the full year, but we're breaking it up when we need to. I've seen some homeschool parents do like a month they'll do 9 weeks of heavy duty schooling, and then they'll take 2 weeks off. And then they'll do another 9 weeks and take 2 weeks off. And then they'll do another 9 weeks, take a month off. So they'll break it up so that it covers the full year with more breaks in between. But usually when the summer hits and the co-ops end for us, we'll unit study things that we enjoy, and we'll finish up whatever we didn't get finished through the year. And so I know one year we did a unit study for a month on botany, and literally all we did was botany. And I have a video on that too, because I totally recorded all of it. And that was really, really fun, actually. And we might do it again. I don't know. Not botany. Botany was so much fun. But we actually got to enjoy that science so much more, because I didn't have to go shopping for a bunch of experiments when I was busy thinking about other stuff, because I was so focused on the experiments. I shopped all at once for the experiments. So that was fun. Even though they do science during the year and I'm teaching science, so I'm always shopping experiments. I forgot about that part. Another thing that I unit studied, a poetry unit study. That was so much fun over the summer. We did a poetry unit study with Usborne Books. It was so good. So good. And little things like those you can pick out, and enjoyable things like a unit story on, or unit study on dinosaurs, or nature journaling, or those kind of things. So that's how we do it. Finish out whatever they didn't get finished, and just, do the fun unit studies. That's kind of how we do it. Okay, I'm wondering if the Super Bowl is ending, because a bunch of people just left. I'm wondering if it's like the end of Super Bowl. I have no idea. All right, but I'm going to keep answering questions so they can come back and check out if that's the case. All right. Texas doesn't require any of that. The only requirement is that we teach reading, writing, arithmetic, and good citizenship. Yeah, I've heard that about Texas. That's really cool. And you don't have, there's no way to prove that, from what I've heard. Like they don't really ask for proof. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't live in Texas, but I heard it was really, really good over there. No evaluations. Look at that. All right. You just kind of store it, right? Just like us, we do the portfolio evaluations, and then we just store it for 2 years. And what's cool in my situation is that I do my own portfolio evaluations, and pretty much any person that has a teaching certificate can do their own evaluations, and just sign the paperwork off and send it to the state. So it's almost like we really aren't getting checked up on. So, and then when I come in, I just, like I said, I'm there to advocate as much as I can and support the parents. Okay, so we got thumbs up, smiley face, yay. We all love IEW structure and style. And is it enough for ELA, English Language Arts? Is this the high school ELA? Yes, I would say so. But then again, for homeschool, it's your choice how you do it. But when you do the IEW, you do all the things. They have some literature. I don't know what the high school IEW looks like. I don't know what the high school one looks like yet, but I'm assuming, because I know for I don't know if this is across the nation. I know for Florida, though, because I've dealt with some of those parents that have kids in high school and they're thinking about transcripts and stuff like that. I know that colleges like to see a heavy writing portion, but they're not going to ask. It's one of those things. I think it's enough. I would think it's enough, because I don't think, because knowing the standards, the high standards that IEW has, I don't think that they're going to make something and present it out to people that isn't enough to meet those requirements, because a lot of private schools actually use IEW as part, of their core. So I would lean more towards yes, but I have not seen the high school. So yeah. I hope that answers your question. Go Birds. I'm guessing that's a football team. I think. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. It says Go Birds. Is it like Go Birds? That's a really cool unit study? Because it really is. That's a really popular one. Or is that a football team? Y'all, I'm losing it. All right. Okay. Sorry, I meant it was difficult. Oh, it was difficult to teach them to read. Okay. So we both have ADHD, and she found that it was difficult. So hopefully I gave you some ideas. I'm hoping I did. Tactile. I think I have a video on there. That might be a video idea. If you guys have video ideas, let me know, because I'm always like, I feel like I'm always trying to read everybody's mind with YouTube. I'm always going back and looking at what videos are popular on my channel and what you guys are looking for. So if you have video suggestions that you think would be very helpful, please let me know. Because like I said, I'm looking for ideas and looking for suggestions. I feel like I should do some more polls, but I think teaching, I lost the cap to my pen. Oh, well, I think I'll be okay. It's on the floor. I think teaching, reading, that is definitely one. Sarah, Homeschooling for Him is a really good resource too. So that's another one, another person you can go to on YouTube. But teaching reading to preschool and elementary kids that have disabilities or not, let me know if that's something you would like me to put together for you, because when I do research, I research, guys. I get kind of crazy with my research. Go Birds. Sorry, I meant, okay. What is PAL? PAL, Primary Arts. Ooh, that's the IEW one. Primary Arts of Learning. PAL? It's the IEW one. It's the IEW. Here it is. Look at this. Yeah, look at this. This is how bad I am. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I literally have an IEW catalog sitting right here on my desk. This is why I don't turn the camera around. It looks really nice back there. This entire side, like in front of me of my room, is a complete disaster. There's books and papers laying everywhere. Yeah, I won't show you that. Okay, so PAL. Let me show you PAL. By the way, this catalog is amazing. This is a great reference right here. PAL is this up here, actually. Let me find a picture of it. It is their reading. As I'm looking, I'm going to read the comments. I have a child that tests out of the spelling curriculums I've looked into. She's a natural speller. Yay! You are blessed. Awesome. She's in 5th. So would it be best to just focus? Yes. I quit doing spelling with my kids. I did. I just quit. I was like, you guys, this is a waste of my time. You know how to spell. Moving on. Like, we moved on. We don't do spelling anymore. Except my daughter. My daughter does spelling. Okay, this is PAL. I don't know. Oh, it's upside. Oh, it's you can't read it. It's backwards. Sorry. I don't know how to flip the camera. There is a way, but yeah. Anyway, this is what it looks like right here. Primary Arts of Language is what it is, and it's for preschool. So that's what it is. I think it's mirrored. I'm not sure. When I'm looking at my screen, it's mirrored. But they also come, you can get like the whole packet down here. And I mean, it comes with this really cool sticker phonics zoo activity, which we did. We even made like a poster board out of this, and that was really fun. You can get it with the disc right here. And then everything, I mean, they give you the book and then they give you the disc so you can print it out. So if you use the book with one kid and you have a second kid, you can print everything out with this. So that's really cool. And then, yeah, that's what we used. It has a writing element to it too, which is cool. So, okay, what is PAL? I haven't heard of that. Also, there is a 5-year gap between the two. Okay, suggestions for schooling 2 kids further apart. I mean, keep the math separate. I would keep the math separate, keep the reading, keep the writing separate. You can read out loud books to both of them, but gear it towards the older kid, but make it something that's not inappropriate. And there's a lot of really good, like The Hobbit's a really good one. The younger kid may seem, not paying attention, but they usually are. And by allowing them to hear higher literature actually is going to help them. They're gonna rise to meet that, even though it doesn't look like that. I mean, it doesn't look like that, but you won't notice it until a couple years down the line. And I mean, like, for example, like Charlotte's Web is a really good one. You can find a lot of really good, clean, appropriate classics that you can read to the older child and the younger one can listen. And yeah, I would do that. When it comes to history, there are definitely ways that you can do the same history with both of them. So with the older kid, if they're a really good reader, they can read some of those novels. While the younger kid, you can get some of the picture books or, you know, simpler books at the library about that topic. We've been doing that with the Middle Ages. Even though my daughter, she's here and there listening. So I have a 9-year-old girl. The oldest is 13. So at one point she just turned 9. And so anyway, it's, you know, maybe not the same gap, but she will listen in when we do the Middle Ages. However, there are certain things that I don't let her be involved with. We did let, this is so bad, y'all, don't judge me. And I did skip over parts, but we did, for example, let my older boys watch Braveheart while me and the girls went upstairs and do stuff, but we skipped over stuff. And I know that's not a very accurate movie, but things like that, like if it's too advanced for them, if they could read it on their own, like a novel, I would have them read it. For science, you can gear it to the older kid, and that one you can kind of do together. If there's some cute, fun science. Oh, here's a really good idea. Teaching. Have the older child teach the younger child some science experiments. That's a fun thing to do. Or help them with some kind of arts and craft. Allowing the older kid to teach the younger kid is huge, because you learn most when you yourself are teaching it to somebody else. So that right there really helps us a lot, especially with just me having more time with my life. And that sounds so bad, but it helps them retain information. So that you can do that. I hope that helps. You can do PE together, you know, running, playing sports outside. It's good to enroll them into some classes sometimes. So it's just fun doing group sports. I like stuff like that. Pal is 2. I showed you guys. I read that. I have a child that tests out of spelling, and I read that Natural Speller. She's in 5th grade, and I answered that 2-year-old pick up reading super fast. Awesome. Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's really cool. Now, if a 2-year-old is picking up reading super fast, I would then start saying, you know, is this child going to be gifted? It's just a thought. Either that or they're very advanced. Suggestions for schooling 2 kids with a 5-year age gap. So I think I just answered that one. If I still didn't, if there's anything else you want to know, just if it comes up, I'll think about it, and then I'll put it in here if it comes up. Spell, to write, and read. Okay, that's the book I was talking about, Spell, to Write, to Read, from a previous question. So hopefully you guys saw that. Samantha Woods, this person's writing to Samantha. My oldest really struggles with reading. All About Reading. Oh, I forgot about All About Reading. That's a really good one too for struggling and reluctant learners. Yes, that's it. And All About Spelling is really good too. Yeah. Any curriculum suggestions for learning cursive handwriting? Handwriting Without Tears is really good. Cursive First was another one. But I really like Handwriting Without Tears. I've used it for all my kids. Handwriting for a Reason. That one's good too. Are you talking about Sing, Spell, Read, and Write? I think that's a different one. I haven't heard of that one. If it's related to, but I have heard Spell, to Write, to Read. But I don't know much about Sing, Spell, Read, and Write. Okay. Samantha writes back to Kristen. I was actually looking for that one too. I'll make a note of it. Awesome. Ooh, I've never heard of this curriculum. Paulo's English is awesome as well. Never heard of that one. Okay. My son is in middle school and is a reluctant and struggling writer. Gotcha. That's pretty normal. I really want to try IAW, but it's not in my budget. I just ordered Jump in Writing curriculum and prayed it will work out. Yes, I've never heard of that one. Yeah, I've never heard of that one. So I don't know much about it, but I do hope it works, and let us know, please. just throw it in one of my comments. I'm good. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these lives more frequently as we come towards the close of the year, because I find that you guys really enjoy these. Let me know either way. Just let me know. Like I said, this is for you guys. Okay. My oldest turns 9 this week and has ADHD. He is drawn to novelty and aesthetics, so some subjects have been tricky. I'm curious to see what my second learning style is. Okay. Yeah, I think it's really good to know what their learning styles are. Do a video about unit studies. Okay, I'm going to write that down in my book. You know, it's funny. This is my book. And what's funny is when I open it, oh, no, it's not that bad today. I did good. I must have just cleaned out. Usually papers fly out. Okay, so I'm literally, this is, I'll make sure there's nothing personal on here. This is my like planning schedule. So what was that one? It was, I like that idea too. How to do unit studies. I like that too. Yeah. I'm becoming more and more confident as I've homeschooled longer, to share with you more ideas, and also just, yeah, there's lots of stuff out there. Unit studies, I think that would be a great video. And I'll see what I can give you guys, give you some feedback. Hopefully I can give you some examples too. Okay. We love All About Reading as well. Yes, that is a good one. Your opinion on Christian Light Education Language Arts. Okay, I've seen it a million times. I have not used it. It reminds me of Christian Light. This is Christian Light, right? It reminds me of Horizons. It does. Like is it? Now, see, I can't remember what it reminds me. There's another curriculum that's very similar to Christian Light Education. I feel like it's Horizons, but Horizons is math. It's very traditional. I do like the readers. I will say that. It's very traditional. It gets the job done. It's kind of how I feel with those traditional ones. So it gets the job done. See, it's funny because a lot of these, I guess it just really depends on how you homeschool, because there's some people that when they homeschool, especially like with literature, they want it to be a part of their lives, right? So if they're exploring animals, they want their literature, everything just infiltrating every subject they're studying, and, doing it throughout the day, cooking, cleaning, all of it, shopping pertains, field trips, everything pertains to animals or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other people that just want to get the job done so they can move on to the fun stuff. And I feel like Christian Light has the potential of just getting the job done. Now, I've seen it a lot. I haven't used it. So that's the angle I'm coming from. So I'm curious to see if there's anybody in the comments that have actually used Christian Light and what they feel about it, if that makes sense. Have I done interactive notebooks? Yes, I have. If you have, I would love to see a video on how to create one for your kids, for middle schoolers. There is something, I saw this, a science, I think she's up on Teacher Paid Teachers. It's so good, her stuff. I'm gonna write that down too and see what I can find on that. Interactive notebooks. You know what I wanted? One of the classes. See, this is all that's going through my head. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. I'm proposing. I haven't proposed it yet. I just told another friend. I told a parent friend at the co-op. I want to teach a class on note-taking when you're watching videos, note-taking when you're reading books, note-taking when you're getting ready to do a research paper. Because for me, I find that note-taking is so essential when I'm doing research. I would love to do a class on that, but I started looking for curriculum out there and I can't find anything. And I'm like, maybe I should write something. That's a lot of work. Yeah. So I don't know. If you have a thought about that, just jot it down. Okay. Have you used IW spelling? Yes, I have. Did we stick with it? We stuck with it for a year. My kids are really good spellers. So because, well, my daughter's really good speller too. She's really picking it up fast. They're just good spellers. And I don't teach them spelling anymore because I think they picked up really quickly, and I'm lucky. I'm very fortunate. The one thing I like about IEW spelling is it's very repetitive, and it's just every day is a spelling test. And the point is that you do that spelling. It's very classical is what it is. It's a classical method. It's repetition for memory. I do have thoughts on classical education in general. With spelling, though, because of the nature of spelling in general, I think that's how you need to learn it, through repetition and recognizing phonics and blends and combinations of phonics and sounds. I think the reason they're good spellers is because they have a really solid foundation in learning their phonics and their blends and phonograms. I'm having some hard time. See, look at this. I'm having some difficulties with words tonight. It might be just because it's late. It could be because I literally batch filmed 3 videos earlier today. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, they're really good at very strong foundation with that. So we just don't do spelling. But IW spelling is very repetitive. It's very classical. And then you move on to the next one when you're ready. And then the next year, you just repeat the same pattern, but you move up in difficulty. And when I say pattern, it's teaching you like the AE. We're going to focus on that until you get these words that have the AE in it down. And then we're going to move on to the, OUGH. And then we're going to practice those spelling words until you get it down. And they increase through the years in difficulty. So, are you thinking of Life Pack? Yeah, maybe. I feel like that one is kind of maybe Life Pack. It might be Life Pack. Yeah, maybe. There's a lot. It's traditional. It just gets the job done. That's how I feel about it. It's not like a living education. It's not a Charlotte Mason thing where it's living education. It's get the job done so we can move on to something else. The biggest, there's goods and bads to that. The negative to that is that it could potentially cause your child to separate the love from learning. Like it could conflict with their love for learning. Or it could do the opposite. So you kind of just have to figure out your kids and see if it works. 5 in a row unit study thoughts. Oh, I love 5 in a row. For second grade? I don't know. I did 5 in a row with kindergarten and first grade, but that's it. And I didn't do the full, I would do selections of 5 in a row, just at a co-op. So I would nitpick. I wouldn't do it as a full curriculum. I would just do sections because I like book studies. And I really do like it. It's a really good one. I found that though, for me, once I saw the pattern that 5 in a row gave, I just mimicked that pattern with their books that I would get at the library. Yeah. So it's good. It is good. I remember Corduroy, that book. That one was like stuck in my memory from 5 in a row. I think it's 5 in a row. I just remember doing that unit on Corduroy. See, words are difficult for me tonight. Oh, man. What math do you like for second, third grade? I believe you do teaching textbooks for your older kids. What do you use for younger? So third grade, teaching textbooks, we do. Horizons, I would say, would be my second choice. Horizons and Christian Light. Christian Light is very similar. See, that's why I was saying Horizons and Christian Light were similar, because their math is very similar too. So Horizons and Christian Light, because it gets the job done. I think it's also very difficult. Horizons is very challenging. Yeah. And it pushes them because I did do Make Math Meaningful for kindergarten with my first, and it was, I don't know, I loved it actually. It's very gentle, but there became a point where it was just, okay, we need something a little more challenging. So, oh, there we go. All right, with math. Okay. Ooh, I would love a video on your thoughts of each of the methods. We are still trying to figure out our style, but lean towards Charlotte Mason and have trouble trusting the process. Oh, I did a video with Ashley and Charlotte Mason. There's a live. Go back to my channel, click on the button that says lives, and the one with Ashley, it says, is Charlotte Mason the best? That's a really fun live to watch, I think, because Ashley and I are friends in real life. And that was just really fun. So you'll learn about Charlotte Mason and have fun doing so with us, and hear all our thoughts. I did one on unschooling last week. I am putting together my thoughts on classical education. Even though I'm eclectic, I'm totally eclectic. I nitpick from different, I love a lot of Charlotte Mason's philosophies, and yeah, I just feel like with a lot of these philosophies, it's just best to be eclectic because we're all so different. And to be hardcore into one of the philosophies is attaching yourself to something that may not be you or may not be your child. So I think eclectic, but also being aware of what the other philosophies have to offer is really good. I also think some of these unschooling methods can be very much so tied to religion and faith. So that's also something to keep in mind when you're getting involved with them. Charlotte Mason does tend to have a very heavy Christian influence. Unschooling, I would say, like at the core of it, if you want to get deep, I mean, when you, now scratching the surface, different subject, when you want to get deep into unschooling, it's going to have a very new age liberal kind of philosophy behind it. Classical education, I'm still doing a lot of research on right now because there's things about classical education I love. There's things that I don't. I am not a fan of philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, Sophocles. I'm losing it. That just didn't sound right. Socrates. Okay. But but there are elements of classical education that I do like. So I will do one on classical next. That's my goal. Hey, okay, we're using writing and rhetoric. It has worked for us. Writing and rhetoric is classical, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. We tried that, and it is very rigorous. I found that it was very rigorous. I did not like the heavy influence of Greek mythology, but that was also because that's the version I got. See, that would be, I think when I'm looking at classical education as a whole, I don't like the heavy influence of Greek mythology over Bible. Sorry. That's just my opinion. Apology and math, I have not tried yet. So the next person said thoughts on apology and math. I have not tried their math yet, and I don't know anything about it yet. So I'm kind of hoping I get some parents that do apology and math, and I get to see it this summer. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Okay, I skipped a bunch. We really enjoy apology as math curriculum. So that's what Samantha says. And mom to 4, do you feel teaching textbooks is behind? I moved my 10-year-old from the good and the beautiful to teaching textbooks, and he tested a whole grade level above. Okay, so all of my kids are a grade above in teaching textbooks, except for my daughter. So that one, is it a year behind? I don't know. It's a hard one to answer because you're behind what? Behind other curriculum, behind what the benchmarks for the school system is. Because when I tested my child, we transferred from master books to teaching textbooks, and his grade level jumped from a second grade level to a fifth grade level. And he was at his grade level on teaching textbooks. And this was with the nationally normed test. So a lot of parents are going to tell you teaching textbooks is a grade behind. I hear that all the time. So it's what is it behind? And what I just think you should just test your child and match them up with the level that they're supposed to be at. If that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense. I know that one of the things in our state is that homeschoolers are never required to give grade levels because there's so many differences in curriculum out there. So that's just a thought. It's, yeah, just find out where they are. Like I said, all of my kids are a grade ahead, except for the third grader. I'm forgetting the third grader, except for the third grader. Both of my boys are a year ahead. So my seventh grader is doing pre-algebra with teaching textbooks this year. And yeah, so I think he's doing great. So yeah. I do not think that my son, I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't think though that he is going to go into engineering or mathematics or anything. My second son is. I will say though, I use teaching textbook exclusively for my oldest and exclusively for my youngest. The one boy that wants to go into engineering, I do supplement math, but that is because he wants to be an engineer. I know that I need to push him a little bit more in mathematics, more than other kids. So if he wants to do well with engineering, so he doesn't have to struggle with, when he gets to college, he doesn't have to struggle with the math side of things and then focus more on all the engineering stuff. So it's kind of what I'm trying to do with him. I have heard that from several people that you have to level up. Yeah. See, that's like, yeah. We really love teaching textbooks. It's our second year using it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is soccer? Yeah. Okay. I know. Oh, gosh. So Socratic method. There we go. Yes, there is. Socratic. That is in classical education. I can't give you a definite definition right now. It's very Greek minded. I am reading this right now. This is my and this is why I said, if you guys pray for me as I'm writing my second book. Do I have it sitting here? Y'all, this is what my second book is based. I'm giving you like a preview. It's on my mind. That's why. This is, I don't know if you guys, my favorite thing in the world right now. Wait, let me get my other reference. Okay. This is why I've been doing this. It is a class. Actually, it's more like a seminar. There's no homework in it. But it's, it's backwards. Sorry. Okay. My big fat Greek mindset. And it's the difference between Greek and Hebraic Hebrew. Wow. I can read backwards. Hebrew worldview. It's a seminar. And what I'm learning, I'm also reading this one again. Okay. Assumptions that affect our lives. This one's amazing, guys. Okay. So what these books I'm learning from, I'm also learning from some other stuff too, but this is what I'm currently looking at. And I'm citing them all in my new book. There's the Greek mindset and the Hebraic mindset. Our scriptures were written in the Hebraic mindset. I think everybody understands. But classical education that claims to be Christian only goes back to the philosophers. It actually stops, like it doesn't go further back. And there's a lot of focus on thinking, the way that Plato and Socrates thought. It's a big idea of knowledge comes from within us. And all we have to do is put the puzzle pieces together. When the Hebraic mindset is God is the creator, he gives us that information. And it's like two separate worldviews. Another one is Greek mindset is about material, how things, just material in general. Hebraic is about function. So when you're reading scriptures, you want to make sure you're looking at it from a Hebraic perspective, worldview, because if you start to interpret it with a Greek mindset, you're going to have some struggles here and there. Context is always important. And I think that's why there's a lot of debates on a lot of different things within the Christian community, because our society in general is very Greek. Our founding fathers have a very Greek mindset. Our culture is very Greek. We think very Greek. And it's very logical, vertical logic. And I love, love, love logic. And there's a place for vertical logic, but Hebraic mindset is box logic. So everything that you put in that box is very logical, but it may not be logical with like another box. It may seem to kind of contradict, so to speak. So in a nutshell, the classical education and the Socratic method is going to have that Greek perspective of analyzing things that, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, those kind of philosophers. So there you go. Is Life of Fred a good supplement? It's fun. It is fun. If it is not fun, then it's not a good supplement. So it's something you have to try out. It's just a fun story. It's a fun story. I think the goal is that it's going to just kind of give a good picture, a visual experience with mathematics. So it's just fun. Yeah. Okay. Can you link to where to find the Greek versus Hebrew mindset to our resource? Yeah, I got to. Now, okay. He is my favorite theologian. Okay. And his name is Tim Hague. He is a Messianic believer. He 100% believes that Jesus is Messiah. He believes in the triune nature of God, but he is a Messianic believer, and he's amazing. That's all I have to say. He's my favorite. He does not scratch the surface with scripture. He digs deep. This is the person that everything he writes is going to point back to Jesus. It is incredible what he writes. He will also spend a year in one book of the Bible, and will spend an hour and a half doing a Bible study on 2 verses or 1 verse. So he is so deep. I'm actually doing a Bible study with him right now online. I just love it. It's on Wednesday nights. You guys should join. We don't get to talk too much. We just sit and listen to him talk. And then if we have questions at the end, we can ask him. So it's all virtual. And he is amazing. I am going to try to get his son on my channel. I haven't asked him yet. I haven't had the guts to ask him. I went camping with them actually, which is kind of funny. But this book is so good. The other one too, this one, I'm going to tell you about this one too. This one is Assumptions That Affect Our Lives, How Worldview Determines Values That Influence Behavior and Shape Our Culture. The author is Christian Overman. Are you aware of the underlying assumptions that shape your values and behavior? Have you given much thought to how your assumptions ultimately affect reality, influence your daily actions? We often underestimate the importance of presuppositions that lie behind the behavior of ourselves and others. Like an iceberg floating in the ocean with just 10% visible and 90% below the surface, we sometimes lose sight of the fact that our words and our actions and those of others are first shaped by invisible thoughts that lie deep within the reaches of an inner concept of reality known as a worldview. And so I'm reading it and applying it to homeschool, a lot of these ideas, because you're getting me into everybody left. No, everybody's still here. Because most of us first were raised in a Greek, very worldview type society, but most of us that are choosing to homeschool our kids were raised in the public school system. And so a lot of our background and a lot of our thoughts on things are very worldly. And we need to expose that truth. We need to look at right in the eyes and see it for as it is. So that's why I think it's so important to look at the history of education to see the truth, why things, the Rockefellers, for example, why they did what they did to the educational system, that they had goals in mind that were for selfish gain. It's good to look at these truths straight in the eye for what they are. It's good to pick apart assumptions that we have. Why are we doing what we're doing? And then one of my big pushing points is that where should we be grounded in? Should we be grounded in what the Bible has taught us, or should we be grounded in what the world has taught us? And if we have been coming from the public school, we're probably grounded in what the world has taught us. So sorry, I'm getting really deep with this book. And so this is just a good book. So I saw a bunch of y'all leave. It's okay. I'm getting off topic, but there are no more questions. So I have a list of things that I am linking in the description. I'm probably going to link it. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin it in the comments when I get off of that. I am going to, you all gave me homework. I'm going to put the link to Eli for the apologetic stuff. I'm going to put a link to, I don't need to put a link to Master Books in Apologia. You guys could probably Google those, I'm thinking. I am going to put a link to the Big Fat Greek Mindset. Story of the World. Someone's asking, do I have a shareable playlist on YouTube for the videos you watch that correspond to Story of the World? I don't. I don't. Sorry. I do a lot of Google. What I end up doing is I've spent a lot of time Googling, or not Googling, like YouTubing different topics and watching those videos. And there's some that I've seen over and over again. So I know they're a good resource that we enjoy watching, and I watch those over and over. My kids really like the Knights in general. I don't know. I think it's a boy thing. It's definitely a boy thing. It's not for elementary school. Definitely not. And what's another one? Oversimplified. We love Oversimplified. Once again, I would say middle school and above for that one. But other than that, I'm trying to think if there's some other. There's like some battle. My kids like to watch the battle ones where they show you the map and they show you where the battles are, and like it's all like fighting, but it's not. It's like a moving picture map. I don't know why they like those. It gives them a visual, and then they're like, "Mom, let's play Risk," and I'm like, "Okay." And so, other than that, I do Google searches, and I know what I'm looking for because I've watched a lot of YouTube videos in those areas. Sorry. I should compile one. It's hard because those ones that are made for kids, you can't save them to a playlist. YouTube won't let you do that anymore. So it's hard. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tired. That's why words are hard this late at night. Y'all are seeing like the real me, like my eyes are getting red and I'm getting sleepy. Do you guys have any more questions before I sign off? I think a lot of people are starting to leave because they know it's getting late. Is the game over? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to put those links, and if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments, and I'll try to get to them, as I check my comments. So thank you guys for coming on. I thought it was pretty successful for being Super Bowl Sunday. All right. Well, have a wonderful night, guys. I will see you I'll see you on Thursday because I'll have a video up, and I will see you February 21st. Y'all better help me share that one. You better help me share that one. In the back of my mind, y'all better help me share that one because Denise, she's going to love it. Oh, she's going to have so much fun. I can't wait. All right. Thank you guys so much. It's going to be fun. That one's going to be a fun one. All right. Take care. Bye, guys.